Namaste, Namaskaram on this rudra moon day. So we're going to begin the practice reclined. So you can recline the way Eddie's reclining if you're in a room where you have altars and murtis. Always put your head towards that direction and your feet in the opposite direction. If you have the option, you should let your head be facing towards the east. So begin by reclining on your back. And let nothing be under your body, no pillow, just let your blanket and your shroud be beneath you. And as you come into a reclined position, feel the full weight of the body surrendered to the earth. Feel the arms a little bit away from the body. Feel the palms softly up so the knuckles are on the earth as opposed to the palms on the earth. Feel awareness move to the belly, which is really significant for this Ardra Nakshatra in relation to Rudra, to Shiva, and feel as if a nostril is here at the navel center and the breath moves in and expands through the belly, expanding, and on an exhale the body becomes light. Feel the sensation of the back of the head on the earth. Send a message of release through the jaw and the mouth, and create space in the face so the eyes can seep deep into the skull, feeling the full weight of your body given to the earth. Feel the body receiving breath. And move from the feet. Feel the awareness move to the toes, the pads of the feet, the heels of the feet. Feel breath move in and move out through the feet, and send a message of release to the energy of frustration, of anger, of intensity. Feel awareness move up through the shins and the knees as if breath is moving up through the calves, circling through the knees and the thighs release, sending a message of deep, complete release to frustration, to anger, to hopelessness or helplessness. Feel the breath move in through the pelvic girdle. Feel the sacrum on the earth, the lower part of the back. Feel a deep release of tension, dryness, heat, anger. And feel now a wave of light, an undulating stream of light from the feet, moving through the ankles, calves, knees, thighs, through the sacrum, through the pelvic girdle, as if a light has been turned on through the lower part of the body. and the upper part of the body becomes drenched in this light. Feel the sensation of the hands. Feel a deep release of grasping to something other than this. Feel a deep release of frustration that may be in the hands, anger, helplessness. Feel the entire arms held on the earth, luminous, bright, held by the earth, held in deep ease. And this light is streaming into the heart center, and the illumination becomes more clear and crystalline up from the heart, saturating the throat. Feel as the light moves from the fingers up through the arms, through the heart, and into the throat, the sounds. Aim Ardra, Aim Ardra, Aim Ardra. And the mouth is soft, and the face is luminous, and third eye is a glistening orb of crystalline light, and the inner scalp is pure illumination. And the body is receiving breath, and the breath releases, and the body becomes lighter, and the body becomes brighter. And feeling as the body rests, these sounds. Truth is within me, and faith is within me, and the world is within me, and wealth is within me. The universe is within me, and sacrifice is within me, and play is within me. Joy is within me, and all beings born are within me, and sacrifice is within me, and all creatures born are within me. All hymns are within me. All excellent acts are within me. And by means of sacrifice, I conceive and attain all that is within me. And feeling these vibrations move through the body, feeling the sounds. Satnyam chame shraddha chame jaga chame danam chame vishvam chame mahas chame krita chame jatam chame suktam chame shruktam chame yagena kalpandham. Feel the sounds farthest away. Feel the sound of the breath. Feeling this sound saturating and drenching the body. The nakshatra ardra translates as a storm, being drenched, being saturated in tears, in the tears of Rudra, in the tears of Shiva, as pure compassion. Feel slowly the breath moves the body onto its left side, and slowly as the body moves, it is drenched almost from the inside with this invocation. Truth is within me, and faith is within me, and joy is within me, and play is within me, and all beings born are within me, and all creatures born are within me. And feel the weight of the right hand. The body's almost fetal as a rebirthing. We move into surrender, and this is the energy of the Shiva energy. The energy of Shiva invokes us to release into nothingness, to release the identities that create the bondage that keep us tethered to our suffering. Feel the weight of the right hand. Press down and slowly begin to lift, finding your asana. If you can do this with the eyes closed, finding yourself on your seat, feeling the energy, this powerful energy of this day. This nakshatra started Sunday at 8, and it's going to continue all the way through Monday, which is Shiva's day. So it's particularly auspicious that we're practicing here and invoking this deep, powerful state of surrender, surrendering anger, surrendering madness. To be in the stillness of compassion and faith, awareness of all beings born, all auspicious acts within. The hands rest soft on the legs. The eyes drop deep in the skull. The breath is being received. The spine becomes long, and the spine will lengthen in response to the knees dropping. It's the state of surrender, and this relates to the experience of namaskaram. When we bow, when we greet one, we bow, and it's the crown of our heads that we meet in this plane of consciousness that is beyond this incarnation, and where we are truly fed, and where we acknowledge the light of those outside of ourselves, reflecting the light within ourselves. Feeling a softness, a completeness. The hands rest, the belly is soft. Released and relieved of sorrow, frustration, anguish. Feeling the sounds Om, Om. And the body doesn't recoil or become tense. The body doesn't engage or tighten or get ready to perform. This isn't a performance. This is a release. We mimic the energy of Shiva. Shiva has no desire to attain anything, especially props. We release deep into this, that all may vibrate through the cells, the molecules, the energy body. Feel the length of the breath. and feel. Release the urge to grapple. So this nakshatra Ardra guides us into the realm of Shiva. Shiva was created by Brahma, and when Rudra was created, it was there was a chaotic energy. Rudra and Rudrani created a lot of destruction because there was so much energy of destruction that so much was reduced to ashes. And Brahma invoked Shiva and said, concentrate on the Godhead, concentrate on the highest realm of consciousness, and harness. So that which needs to be destroyed is the ignorance, that which we disdain within ourselves, that which we disdain on the outside. We move and we embody this energy to be destroyed. Not everything. We harness the energy, and what emerges through this energy of Shiva is great compassion. The tears. Today's a wonderful day to wear rudraks to honor the energy of Shiva. Powerful day to don rudraks. So feel the belly soft, invoking the energy of the moon, that our minds may be clear and crystalline. Om Sham Shrim Sham. Om Sham Shrim Sham. Chandraya Namah. Chandraya Namah. So you're inhaling when you hear the sounds. We're not just waiting in anticipation to do something. We are proactively absorbing the nature of these sounds. So the breath, when we hear it, the breath takes in these sounds, that what emerges is that adamantine state of Shiva. It's not a reactive state, but a specific drishti-like energy that's shot to what needs to be destroyed. Om Sham Shim Sham. Om Sham Shim Sham. Om Saho Sam. Om Saho Sam. Somaya Namah. Somaya Namah. Deep inhale. Om Sham Shim Sham. Om Sham Shim Sham. Om Saho Sam. Om Saho Sam. Somaya Namah. Somaya Namah. Om Sham Shim Sham. Om Sham Shim Sham. Chandraya Namah. Chandraya Namah. And feel breath. Let the breath fill up the vessel. The mantra clears and cleans and it imbues Shakti Prana in the body. The exhale clears and cleans out the unwanted, releases, that the inner world becomes adamantine. It's not just the outer that is affected by the practice, more so the inner. which is what generates the outer. Feel the belly soft. And so slowly on an inhale, feel the hands float to the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra. Belly is soft, mouth is soft. Inhale, bring the hands soft to third eye center. And feel the pinkies stay together and the thumbs stay together and the fingers open and the shoulders are soft. It's in front of the third eye, Agnya chakra, and there's a softness. Feel the knees drop, the belly soft. Feel the sounds. Om Padma Vijaya Vidmahi. Om Padma Vijaya Vidmahi. Himarupaya Dimmai. Himarupaya Dimmai. Tano Chandra Prachodayat. Tano Chandra Prachodayat. And feel the fingers, all the other fingers touch. The hands flow to the heart center. Then the hands drop in front of whatever ankle's in front. Feel the belly really soft. And as you feel an exhale, let the hands start walking out and the head drop. Don't walk out too far. We're cultivating the energy to harness. So the sound, the word rudra, it translates as the howler, and Shiva's howling and screaming, and the essence that brings ardra into fruition, it's a harnessing. It's a harnessing, so not all is destroyed. And the frustration that is associated with the impetus of creativity. When something is being created, something has to be destroyed first for something to be created. And there's a level of frustration. It's like moving when a baby's moving through the birth canal. There's a scream and a howl, and it is quite an uncertain experience before something is birthed. And this is true with all things we birth. It doesn't have to just be a physical being. Something moves through a pathway, a canal of uncertainty, of darkness, that a great roar and howl emanates from. Feel, stay soft, just drop. Don't try to do anything because there's nothing to do. Empty out first, and then we howl the name of Shiva, of Rudra. But first, we become empty. Feel the body, the knees, feel where there's a holding, a yanking, a tension, and dynamically go in there and surround the consciousness in that realm and release it. Then feel. Awareness move to the heel that's closest to the body, and when you feel an inhale, start to float. So the spine is going to float long and upward, and the head, neck, and trunk is going to float into a line, and the crown of the head's going to be flat, and we're going to be upright, feeling the belly soft. This is really crucial for a successful practice, for prana to flow successfully from the lower apertures to the upper apertures, and from the tension of the vata to release down into the lower is the softening of the belly. Rock back slightly, extend the leg farthest from the body. When that leg extends, send a message of release and feel it drop to the earth. And then slowly start to rotate that ankle of that extended leg. Now your eyes may be open a little bit, they may still be closed. If the eyes are open, land the eyes on a gaze spot where nothing is, where the gaze can just land and it doesn't have to meander anywhere, or just keep the eyes closed and stay on the inside. This is where the work needs to be done anyway. We can attempt to manipulate the outer, but the work is on the inside. Even so much with the body, when we are working to create shift and change and a creation on the outer, it starts with the inner. Come to rest, that ankle rest. Now roll it in the opposite direction. And feel as this rolling happens, the rest of the body participates in some way. It insinuates energetic expression through the leg, and it's also into the pelvic girdle, up into the hand of the extended leg. Land into a still place. Feel the sensation of breath in the nostrils. Feel the mouth really soft. Rock back, extend the leg that was closest to the body. So we're still on the pillow, we're still on the asana. Now go inside, if the eyes were open, close the eyes, and just notice that leg that was first extended. Notice the energy moving through that leg compared to the leg that was just extended. And feel an imaginary line behind both legs so the legs aren't into our patterns, our identity patterns that have been created, either pivoting in or pivoting out. We're going to feel a line. So if that seems challenging, then either move the legs closer together or farther apart. But it's going to be a journey to feel where that landing is created. Then slowly start to rotate that ankle. Feel that ankle of the newly extended leg rotate. And the belly stays soft. We're dynamically, with great crystalline consciousness, bringing our awareness through the physical body to those abodes where we're holding frustration, where we're holding anger, where we're howling. And where that howling is, drench it. Drench it with breath, with compassion, with awareness. And then let that ankle become still and just feel the stillness in the body. Both legs are extended, the hands rest on the legs, the elbows are bent. Slowly start to rotate in the opposite direction, that ankle. Feel, and this is a meditation in and of itself. And on Mondays is a very kapha, it could be a very emotional day. And what we want to do is transform the weight of the emotions into clarity and come back into the realm of Agni Chakra, of third eye. We want to inspire a deep intuitive consciousness, because this is where we're going to extract all the information we need for this lifetime. Feeling that ankle roll, then let the leg come to stillness. Feel belly soft, let the hands drop off of the legs, between the legs, and feel the spine nice and long and the shoulders are dropped. And when you feel an exhale, and you actually feel it through the belly, move the heart in front of the sit bones. Let the hands land on the earth and just check out where you are, and then let the head go. Now, if what happens here when the head releases and the hands are on the earth, if there's a lot of yanking and tension somewhere, that is shortening the breath. So if there were a goal in this practice, it would be to lengthen the breath. Because when we lengthen the breath, we move into the realm of Shiva a little bit more, into that deep consciousness, out of the cacophony of the thoughts. We move into the abode of Shiva. We breathe long, long, long in and out. So if the breath is short, and that means that the body's too tense to move into that Shiva place. And that's what we have to look at. We are the ones who have to navigate through this form to invite this energy to rest within ourselves. And if the body's tight, we linger there and we find, well, what am I doing to manifest this? What can I do right now to ameliorate and soften this? So we just drop. Less is so much more. Less is so much more. When you feel the breath in the nostrils, feel awareness move to Muladhara, root chakra, and slowly head, neck, trunk, up into a long line. Let the knees bend back, wrap the arms around the legs. Feeling, don't push the energy through the arms. The arms are just as almost ropes. ropes that have no agenda. They're just delicate ropes around the legs. And notice what's going on with the legs, with the feet, with the belly, the breath. Slowly, if you have not already started that rhythmic current of breath, you can start with 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. It's almost as Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4 out, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5, Om 6 out. Connect with it. And it could just be 1, 2 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 out. Slowly let the legs open a little bit. Come up into a squat. Take the asana, the pillow, move it aside. So wherever you are in a wide leg squat, move the elbows in towards the inner thigh or the inner knee so they're making a little bit of a connection there. Feel the belly really soft and feel the spine is almost blossoming as the head is released from the tip of the tailbone up through sacrum, middle back, between the shoulder blades, up to the cervical spinal column. That whole area of the body is blossoming. Exhale into Uttanasana, into forward bend. Let the feet become parallel with one another. They don't have to be straight though. Inhale, lift the fingers off and come flat back. And on an exhale, the knees are going to point forward. Bend the knees a little bit. So we're exhaling to massage the ascending and descending colon and create space in that second moon center, Swahasthana. On an inhale, take the left leg back, lower the left knee. Keep with the breath. Don't stop breathing. Take the right leg back so we're into a neutral position. The hands are under the shoulders. The knees are under the hips. The toes are curled. And release your belly deeply. So the gaze, if there were a gaze coming out of third eye, it would land right between the index finger, right between the thumbs. Belly is really soft, really soft. Feel the hips sway over to the right, rock back, roll over to the left hip, left shoulder, crown of head, right shoulder, and back. And feel the breath. And you can use the sounds Om Shram Shrim Shram Soho Somaye Namah. You can use the magnificent sounds Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namaha. Feel whatever you resonate with. We're creating an abode within the mind, within the consciousness to invite more sound vibration in. But first we want to release. We connect with the energy of the moon. We undulate. The next time you come back into neutral, just land there. Let the feet become really soft. As you feel an inhale, extend the left arm. So that's going to, the inhale is going to lift the left arm and then slide it as you exhale right between the legs and let the left temple move down towards the earth. So the left hand moves between the legs and the left hand is right between the feet. And the left temple is going to come to the earth. Now this is a lot of sensation here. We're going into, we're checking out what's going on within this form. We're checking out where the tension, where the howling, where the uncontrolled, explosive storm-like energy is within to calm it. First we have to find it. We go in, we find it, and then we drench. Drench, soften, soothe, ease. Now the right arm's going to be somewhat above the head, or the right arm can come back towards, can face towards the back. Towards, it could be parallel with the right ankle. it's going to be different for all of us. We're going to experience this. So the left arm comes underneath, the right arm can come to the side of the body. I'm going to make sure you can see that. And just let it drop. The left temple soft. Feel where your being, and the butt is dropping. The butt is sort of cradled in the feet. That's where you want to go with this. And the deeper the breath gets, the butt will drop and drop and drop. And the knees will open to accommodate this because we're blossoming out through the pelvic girdle. And the butt is just resting. This is a deeply, deeply resting asana. Feel so slowly. The left hand floats out, the right hand comes forward, and we begin to lift up into a neutral position. Now let the feet just be still for a moment here. Let them not curl. Let the knees walk together. Exhale, drop back into Vajrasana. So left hand under the right, the tips of the thumbs touch Bhairavi Mudra, Bhairava, Bhairavi, another name of Shiva. Feeling the belly is soft. And feel the sounds. Shiva, 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 Shambho. 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 And feel belly soft, shoulders releasing. You bring the gaze to third eye often, feeling the breath move across third eye. Rest, rest. Feel your mantra, and you can begin to work with the Shiva Shambho if you like, or just stick with the one you began. Slide the hands down the legs to lift up back into a neutral. The knees are going to be under the hips, so the knees aren't really wide. The hands are under the shoulders. Knees are under the hips. Let the toes curl. Exhale, let the hips roll to the left. Then rock back and over to the right. Right shoulder crown, left shoulder back. So there is a deep, deep stream of flow. It's not crunchy. It doesn't stop and start. And so we want to start slow to connect with that movement, because as we're rolling the hips, the shoulders, the wrists, the ankles, all parts of the body want to get loosened up here. We're not moving the body to get stiffer or tighter or insinuate and create a form. We're allowing it to be created organically. And this is when it insinuates the most healing. The belly is so, so soft. Then flow and rest, centered whenever you get back into neutral. Feel a long breath, a long exhale. Let that belly get really, really, really soft. As you inhale, extend the right arm nice and long. And on an exhale, slide it between the legs. Drop the butt back. It's almost like you can pat your butt with your hand and then drop it down. And the right temple's going to float to the earth. And once we get here, what's going to happen is the mind's going to try to negotiate through the tension, because we're going to be experiencing and feeling different tension parts within the body. We don't want to relate to that and identify. We just want to move through it to experience it.
Soften, drench it in consciousness, then feel maybe the left arm wants to come back. Maybe that feels more comfortable when the left arm goes back. And the left shoulder. Sometimes the left shoulder ends up draping when that leg comes back onto the left leg, which feels really comfortable too. Maybe for you, the left arm in front feels more comfortable. Now, comfortable is going to be defined as this: that which creates a longer breath. That's the new comfort zone. That's where comfort's going to be expressed, because this creates ease in the consciousness. The more space we have between our thoughts, the more organic we become as human beings. We are not compelled by an identity that manifests this energy that we call thoughts, that projects us into action, which is usually wacky action. We express our creative impetus through that consciousness, through that magnificent stillness. We become still. We move into santosha, that great contentment. So all that emerges is the hand of Shiva. It's Shri, it's her hand that is moving our arm, her words. We are gazing through her eyes. Feel the breath. So softly, so slowly, just check out what's going on with the left arm and send a message of deep release. So the left side of the body is the lunar side of the body. Acknowledge during the day today the left side. Check out what's yanking or hollering or howling. Slowly bring the left hand forward if it's back. Inhale back up into a neutral position. As you feel yourself in that neutral position, take the left hand and rest it right on the lower belly. And feel a little bit of a pulsing there. It's almost as if the flesh is dropping into that hand, and there's a little bit of a pulsing going. Feel it soften, deeply soften. It's really powerful to do Abhyanga right before your asana practice. Let the left hand land on the earth. Bring the knees towards one another, then walk the knees up towards the hands, back into Vajrasana. Left hand beneath the right, the tips of the thumbs touching. The sensation, the awareness moves to the sensation of the breath in the nostrils, the mouth soft. So in the yogic philosophy, there are rituals that are engaged before one practices. We bathe. If we can't bathe completely, we wash mouth, feet, genitals, hands, obviously. And we're creating a clarity through the apertures. And we wear clothes when you practice, wear clothes that you don't wear out in the world so much. Just have certain clothes that you practice in, which are sacred garments that are specific for your entry into a devotional state. Feel the breath long. As you feel an inhale, hook the thumbs, float the arms out in front. The sit bones are sinking down, so we're flooding the pelvic girdle in Vajrasana from the excess energy of the quads and the upper body. So the arms are floated out front. Then inhale, bring the arms up above the head. Float the arms out to the side. Drop thumb, index, middle finger, Ganesha Mudra to the earth. Then bring the right hand to the left wrist behind the body. As you feel long exhale, feel the heart flow forward and feel third eye begin to drop. Now you can keep the legs. You'll know. You'll check your breath. And you'll feel, there is righteous action here when my legs are together. Or you'll feel, no, there's righteous action here when my legs are open, because you'll feel your breath. And this is why we continuously and consistently come back to the breath, because the breath shows us everything. It shows us the mind, and it shows us the energy in the body. So we feel, well, if the chin is just, maybe your chin is just to the chest. Don't second guess where you land in a practice. Some days the chin in this asana is just simply to the chest. Some days third eyes to the earth. It's all the same. It's pretty much meaningless. The outer holds merit in what brings us to his abode. What brings us to Shiva? Not what tethers us to the neurosis and the anguish and the howling. What brings us to that abode of breath and santosha, contentment. So wherever you are, feel head, neck, and trunk into a long line. Let the arms flow to the side of the body. Drop the butt over to the left, so the hips drop over and the feet are out to the right. Let the left hand slide out soft, and then when you feel an inhale in the nostrils, let the right arm lift, and the left hand sliding out. So the right hand's going to float up, and then it's just going to sort of drop over towards the left. Now, be careful that that left shoulder doesn't push too much into the left earlobe. Feeling more of a release and feeling it through the left glute, through the left hip. Where can we get less rigid? Feel, explore. Where can there be less rigidity? The problem with that is we hold our rigidity in high esteem, and most of the time we don't even pay attention. Usually it's our fingers are tight or splayed, or they're like in a spasm, and we don't even notice it. Our jaws clenched, and this impedes the flow of Shakti. If our hands are always in a state of tension, our capacity to allow the creative impetus to flow through is going to be labored. If the jaw is always tight, if the teeth in the mouth, speaking those words of Shri, it's going to be labored. Inhale. Take the right hand up, slide the left hand back towards the left hip. Lift up into Vajrasana. Take the left hand up. Take the right middle finger and thumb around the left wrist. And just come a little bit, just sort of lean a little towards the right middle finger and thumb around the left wrist. And then slowly press the palms together. Take the left middle finger and thumb around the right wrist. Drop the head into the left arm. Just a little bit of action. Remember, the breath is coming in 1, 2, 3, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. The right hand releases to the earth. The butt drops over to the right. So a double action happened. Now the right hand's going to slide out a little bit. The feet are going to come out. I'm going to adjust a little bit here. Don't put all the pressure on the right hand. Notice where the knees are. Notice where the hips are, and feel that there's a little bit of an undulation. You can almost sort of roll on that right hip because there's so much fluidity. That's what we want to create, this deep fluidity through. And maybe when you get here, this rolling is applicable. Maybe for you today, just hanging out and letting the weight of your wrist, the arm, the mouth reveal itself. Remember, 72,000 asanas. 72,000. A few of them are for us, that means. For us, particularly for us. Feel the left wrist roll a little bit. Then feel the right hand walks back. The right fingers touch the left. Bring both hands down. Lift up into Vajrasana. Then drop the butt over to the left. Lean back and sink the feet into the earth. Then slowly start to extend the legs and insinuate the lengthening with the heels. So the heels flow forward and then the feet get really relaxed and soft. Hands rest on the thighs, on the knees, belly is soft, 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 soft. Mwah. Love you, love you. Then feel Let the legs open to a comfortable position where you start to feel your sit bones organically. So for you, that might be a little bit wider or a little bit closer. Feel, where is that place where it's not in Papa Bear or Mama Bear, or maybe it's baby bear bed. Where is that bed of like, this feels so good. Back of the legs. It feels content. There is a contentment. The belly can relax. The shoulders can drop. The mouth is fresh and bright. The eyes sink down, and there's a deep rest. On an exhale, slide the hands down the leg to a comfortable place, to where your body feels comfortable, then the head releases. And dynamically, we don't want to overstrain the hamstrings here. That doesn't do any good in any way, shape, or form. We don't need to yank at our hamstrings. Slowly, the right hand drops between the legs. Then the left hand moves a little bit out from the left leg. It doesn't have to be far. It could be really close, or it could be a little bit farther. You'll feel with your breath. Then feel the elbows start to bend wherever you are. So we're releasing into a devotional state. This is the forward bend, is a devotional state where we're bowing. And this is why when we bow, namaste, namaskaram, we bow our heads, so we're connecting through that Sahasrara energy, through the crown. Otherwise, we're missing some of the wild bob of the gods. We want to circulate in Sahasrara, in the heavens of the devas, of the devis. And then slowly let that left hand move towards where the right hand is, and let the right hand maybe first land on the right leg. Maybe that's where it wants to be. Maybe your body is like, keep that right hand there. This is where I am in my comfort, where I am in my ease. Or the right hand can drop off of the right leg. See, we have been goaded in this time of life to be always pushing and pushing and pushing, and it has created great agony in the hearts of so many, because we can never, we're constantly pushing ourselves to a place where comfort doesn't exist anymore, and we've lost. If we even contemplate for a second how the pineal gland is right behind Agnya chakra, it's in the realm of third eye, where we download all of the wisdom from every incarnation that we have, the center that holds this information. We're not being led there. We're being led into the transitory state of the physicality. So let us just land in that abode, in the Shiva abode, because we will be supplied with everything we need. Feel, where is the ease? Where is the breath? Wherever the breath is, space between the thoughts is that abode where the riches are handed, where the riches are, here you go. Here's what you need to live this life in this body. Come back completely to center. Feel the sit bones. Inhale, head, neck, and trunk. Nice and long. Bend the knees, because that feels really good right about now with all that extension. Wrap the arms around the legs. Drop the right leg out into a bent position. So the left leg's going to be bent. The left foot's on the earth. Left arm is still around that left leg. Slowly let the right hand land on the earth just for a little bit of support. It doesn't have to sink down. Just let it rest there. Then inhale, extend the left arm nice and long, and feel as you move forward. On an exhale, the body reaches and retracts. It reaches and retracts and it reaches. And then scoop that left arm around that left leg. And what you can do is slide it right between the left ankle or calf and the left sit bone. Or you can inhale and take that right arm and bring it out to the right and take a hold of the left. So we're in this little lock with the hands between. And the right legs drop down and sort of just hang out here. You can almost lean. That left sit bone does not have to remain on the earth. Play with this a little. You can let your head drop down to the earth. If the left hand is not, you're not using the right hand, and maybe you find when you brought that right hand back that that's just too much, then let the right arm just rest and just drop down in ease. Let the left hand just rest. Find where that place. For some of us, the ligaments are overstretched, and it takes a little bit more to move into that energy, that action. So maybe the fingers hooked will lead us into that deep state of release. For some, maybe we just bend that right arm and rest it on the leg, and the left arm is somewhat wrapped around the left leg. Inhale. If you are held here through the fingers, release. Inhale, slowly float up. Let the left hand find the earth. Bring the right knee in. So both knees are bent, and we do a little bit of a rock, a little tiny bit on those lower glutes. Feels so good, this rocking energy. And it creates a lengthening between the sacrum and the lower glutes, right up to the top of the hamstrings and the quads. It invigorates the realm of the abode of creation, that Swasthana region, which is what this Ardra and Rudra has a tremendous amount to do with. The capacity to create without frustration, because we identify with the creating a lot, and it is very frustrating. It's too much identifying. Come to a center place. Let the left knee drop. Let the right arm move around that right leg. Now for you on this side, maybe this is where you want to hang out. Maybe this is where I'm finding my breath. 1, 2, 3 in. It's moving. 1, 2, 3, 4 out. Feel what feels. And notice. Then let the left hand rest near the left hip just to stabilize and support a little. Inhale, the right arm extends up, and then the right arm extends out, and the right sit bone flows off. And feel where the pressure is being applied on the feet, on the heel, on the toes. But what you're going to notice is that beautiful lengthening out through the quad, underneath the shoulder, because we're not pushing beyond our limitations. We're just going into our own body. You can splay the fingers, you can roll the wrists if you like. The hands could just be limp out there as you rock and get some energy underneath that right shoulder blade. Then if you'd like, you can wrap that right arm right around the right leg and slip it so the palm rests near the left, bottom of the right glute. Or you can inhale the left arm, exhale, bring it back, and hook the fingers. So the fingers are creating this little lock around that right leg. And then let the head go down. Let the weight of the head go down and just play with the energy. Meaning maybe you want to pivot in a little, the tiniest little bit in the inside of the right leg pivots in. Or then maybe you want to lean it out a little. We're going within our shoulder, in our throat, in our body, where we can release and find rest, find our breath, and find ease as the scenarios in our life change. Situations in our life are going to change, and this is what an asana does. It shows us follow the path of that which is stable, that which is the soul, the breath that flows in, the breath that flows out. Everything on the outside is going to change. The asana is going to change. The flesh is going to change. The scenarios are going to change. The situations are going to change. But where do we stay? On the path to follow, to bring our consciousness to the highest place. Now, wherever you are, if the fingers are hooked, release them. Sink the left hand down into the earth, the right hand back, rock back, bend the left leg. Now slowly open both legs, Baddha Konasana, rock back a little bit. So we're not really, his hips aren't really close to the heels or the ankles. Let the hands rest on the legs. Feel the sensation of breath. And feel. Slowly let the hands float towards the hips. Rock back. Bend in the left, the right. Feel the pads of the toes, pads of the feet. Rock a little bit on the sit bones. Getting that energy down there. Remember where we're going? And then inhale right onto the balls of the feet. Wait for the breath. Exhale into Uttanasana. Start to walk the legs back to end up into a downward dog situation. Stay on the balls of the feet first. Feel the heels of the hands press in the earth, and the fingers are going to splay really wide, and then the fingers are going to sink. The gaze is going to come between the legs. We're not looking at the inside edge of the heels. We can't see the inside edge of the heels. The legs are hip width, where they're not wider than hip width. And the tailbone is rising up to the sky, and the heart is reaching back. Exhale, bend the right leg, cross it over the left leg. And so the outside edge of the right foot is on the earth. And the left heel is sinking down, and there's just this little bit of letting go through the right foot. And then slowly bring the right leg back into the position it was in. Wait for an exhale, then the left leg crosses over the right. The outside edge of the left foot is on the earth. Getting a beautiful crossover. So the left hamstrings are nourishing the right quads and are emptying it out of the gunk, of the tension, of the frustration. Let the left leg come back to center. On an exhale, slide the right knee right between the hands. Right knee comes right between, and we were in a little bit of an inversion, so let the left foot get really soft on the earth. Feel your hands soft. Feel the shoulders shake out just a little so that we're not pushing all the energy, because we were in a little bit of an inversion. Downward dog is a little bit of an inversion. So now we have a chance to flush out the sinuses, and you can take the first two fingers and bring them on either side of the nostrils. And just gently press in right there with the fingers. And then just a little tiny pulsing. It doesn't have to be harsh or firm. Just want to open up that region right on the outside edge of the nostrils. You can feel the top jaw, and then let the right hand find the earth. So feeling that left leg is extended behind. And there's an imaginary line from the middle toe of the left foot all the way up the center of the body. Let the breath be long, and as you feel an exhalation, you can start to walk the hands first. You can bring them down into bent arm. Then you can start to walk them out. And that right leg, you can play with the energy. So you drop down. The left leg stays in that position, that imaginary line. But the right leg can move a little bit more out towards the right or a little bit more forward, depending on where you drop down into this. And if your asana is near you, you can even take your head and rest it right on your pillow. If that feels really comfortable for those who have a lot of cervical spinal column stuff, a lot of upper body tension. If that doesn't hound you or plague you, maybe your head just drops down. The point is, where are we falling asleep? Where are we falling asleep right here? Where is this identity that has so many tendrils of yanking and pulling and agony? Where does that get to go to sleep? Where do the expectations become released? That's where we want to go. Where do we just sink in? We have to remember Who is Shiva? Shiva doesn't give a hoot about anything. Doesn't care. Shiva's journey is that inward bliss, that Satchitananda, that vibration of ease, of release. And when we go into that realm, we traverse through the realm of our demons, and there's a lot of agony, but it's ultimately towards a rest, a great rest. So we cultivate that in as many regions of our existence as possible. And the body is an easy place to do that. Find the rest. You can even take the arms behind too. That might feel comfortable. The arms behind to deepen a little bit. You can even lean a little bit towards the right and feel the body just sort of sink down into that leg. There's a lot that can be played with in this while keeping that left leg completely in the same spot. On an inhale, press down through the hands, lift the heart. So we have here a little back bend. So we're moving towards the summertime. Back bend's not good in the summertime. So this is as much of a back bend as we want to get because we don't want to exacerbate pitta. Okay, that anger, that fire, that intensity. Now let the ball of the left foot curl. That left leg is really juicy with a lot of energy now, so there's a lot of power there. The left toe is curled, the palms pressed down, but there's not a lot of tension here. I'm going to bring it to the left leg. On an inhale, slide the right leg and bring it right up to the sky. Walk the hands back a little on the right leg, lifts and bend it a little bit to spiral open the hips. Inside edge, outside edge of the fingers are stable, so we're not leaning more onto the right than the left. Lower the left leg. Feel a little bit of a bend in the left leg. Then straighten. A little bit of a bend in the right leg. Then straighten. As you feel and exhale, slide the left knee between the hands. And walk the hands up to a comfortable place. Feel what's going on with the right leg. This is a really good time to keep the eyes closed. Maybe you just need to look back and see that right leg because sometimes we think it feels a certain way, but we look back and we go, oh God, it's floppy all over. Let me just get that stable. Then feel where that left heel is landing into the thigh, the hamstrings, where it's landing because there's a good chance where your left heel is landing on your hamstrings, it needs a little bit of love in there. It needs a little bit of nurturing and care and compassion. And feel the belly soft, then start to bend the arms and feel what happens here. Notice the mobility in the hips. Notice where you're going, or where you are right here. Not where you're going so much, but where you are, where the shoulders are, where the hands are. You can move the chin towards the left shoulder to traverse a little bit deeper into the neck and jaw and throat. And the mantra Aim is really powerful for Ardra Nakshatra. And we know that Aim vibrates in the throat chakra, in Vishuddha. So we want to really feel that energy. And then the chin can just tuck in right into its nook. And maybe your arms extend out and you drop down into your rest. Maybe the right arm comes back and you lean a little towards the right. That creates a little bit of a stability that's very comfortable when the right arm comes back, and you can sort of use that to lean in, and it floods the right scapula with a lot of really yummy energy. Want to get that in there between those shoulder blades. Belly really soft. You'll start to notice that you get these whoosh of energy up into the heart center when the belly becomes softened, when the tension and the heat of the belly. It's how Rudra becomes Shiva. The uncontrollable destructive energy has a pathway where it destroys what needs to be destroyed. What needs to be destroyed in our life? And how can we use that howling, that powerful, wild force to take that down? And it's usually the ignorance or the misguided energy of self-doubt or resentment, where we're holding the hot coal that's burning us. Nice and slow, start to extend the left arm, the right arm, float back up. Take your time doing this. There's a lot of bliss that can be accessed in this position. Find it. And there's a lot of agony that can too. We're struggling through the arms. Those arms don't need a lot of struggle. Keep it soft. Let the right toe curl into the earth. All the right toes, actually. And then feel your breath. Inhale. Left leg comes up to the sky. Nice long inhale, because the inhale creates buoyancy and openness in the body. Exhale, release the left leg. Inhale, bend the legs. Slowly walk the knees out towards the right. Drop the butt to the earth. So the knees are out to the right, the butt is to the earth. The left arm extends and then just roll onto the left side. So the knees are just bent. Left arm is on the earth. Knees are bent, eyes are closed. Let the right arm just land right on the right hips. And then once you get here and have a breath and make sure the left arm is in a nice long alignment so your head can rest really comfortably. There's a very fine line between incredible discomfort with that left arm and wild bliss. So feel. Knees are bent, right arm is resting. As you feel an exhale, let that right knee bend up a little bit more so it comes right up towards the chest region. Then let the left leg get really, really long. So the exhale brings the right knee up as high as it can go, and then the left leg gets really long. The right arm is still resting on the hip so that the shoulder blades are almost moving towards one another. Now, while we're here, we're massaging deeply the descending colon. So Mondays are ruled by the energy of kapha, which is a heaviness. We want to stimulate the energy of, well, it's actually stimulating the ascending and descending greatly here. Now feel the breath. Your head can come off of that left arm. So the head was on the left arm. If it feels more comfortable on the earth, you can bring it there. The right arm is just resting on the hips, and you know, because your right hand can rest right on that left glute. You can give your butt a little spanking there. There you go, in the middle of a yoga class too. And because you want to move that energy around. If it feels very comfortable, now comfortable meaning, is it going to deepen your breath? If you move into this, you'll know instantaneously if your breath starts or not. It's going to feel very organic. The head is relaxed, the arm is relaxed. Feel if bending the left leg feels like something. And it might feel ecstatic or it can feel very uncomfortable. If it feels really good to bend the left leg, you can slide all the fingers between all the toes, and the hand can just rest in that foot while the right shoulder drops down. So again, that would be, we're on the left side. If the left leg just bends organically, and then open the toes and slip the fingers in there and fall back asleep again. So nothing really, there's absolutely no aggression. We're not even doing anything with the hands. The fingers are just sliding because the toes are nice and close, so the fingers can rest there, and the elbow can drop down, which will increase the lymphatics through the breast, will release tension through the shoulder blade. But if you're sending energy through that right arm to do something, all that's not going to happen, and the opposite's going to happen. So make sure that it feels so comfortable and relaxing. And that right shoulder is dipping down towards the earth. That's how you'll know. The right shoulder's dipping down, and the space, the right breast is sinking down towards the earth too. So notice, and you might notice that the right knee starts to slide out towards the right wall a little bit more. And you can even pivot that left foot towards the right heel. So wherever you are, if the left leg is bent, release it. Bring the right hand to the earth, right into a neutral position, the right hand. Extend the right leg back. Sink the right hip into the earth. Bring back the left arm so both arms are bent into Sphinx. And soften here. Get really, really soft. Let the eyes close. Feel the front of the quads. Feel the hands move right to the side of the chest. Press down, lift up into neutral, walk the hands towards the knees, towards the hands, then drop the butt right to the right. So the knees are coming out on the left. Slide the right arm out. So we're on the right side with the knees dropped to the earth. Completely resting. Adjust the arm completely under the head. The knees are bent beautifully. So we're already starting the massaging process. The left arm is resting on the left hip. The head is on the arm. Feel your body becoming used to this because we're contracting through the bottom of the descending colon, the bottom, especially the ileocecal valve on the ascending colon, which is a really important area of the body that needs to be stimulated because it has so much responsibility. The ileocecal valve, it's a really small valve that opens from the small intestine. All the stuff that's in the small intestine, the food that has been broken down, has to move through this really tight little aperture to climb up through the ascending colon. So this is a hot spot that we want to really pay attention to and massage every day, that lower right belly part. Now feel on an exhalation, that left knee moves up as the right leg extends. So the head's still on the right arm. The left knee moves up to a comfortable position. What is comfortable for you? So we have this, again, it's almost like a blossoming through the heart center. We're moving up through the chakras here. The shoulder blades are flowing together. The head is relaxed. Fall asleep. Feel Shiva, 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 Shambho. Go deep in there. Maybe the head releases to the earth. So if the head is released to the earth, that left knee is going to start sliding out a little bit more. Now you'll feel the left shoulder is dropping down because the left arm's still on the left side of the body. Right arm, maybe your head's on the arm, maybe your head's on the earth. Now you'll feel, does it feel really comfortable to bend that left leg? And if it does, then those fingers are going to slide in that left foot really simply. And we're going to be able to feel the energy through that right hip, the right hip bone, being gently manipulated. This is right around where the ileocecal valve is. This is why it's very important, the foods that we eat, think of when you eat food, that food going into a blender. This is what happens in the small intestine. It breaks down food the way food would be broken down in a blender. And then it moves, it all has to pass through the ileocecal valve, which is right at the bottom of the descending colon. So you have to imagine, and this is why if you're going to eat bread products or pastas or more glutinous products, that you do it with, you don't fill up completely, that there's enough space that an agitation process can happen to break down. The rudra has to do with metabolism. I spoke in the beginning about Shiva and the gut. Ardra has a tremendous amount to do with metabolism. It's it has to do with the gut of Shiva, how Shiva metabolizes and breaks things down so that they can be assimilated and used as a profound nutrient. It's the destructive nature that transforms something that it can be readily available. And when we're in this asana, physically moving towards the ileocecal valve, we're able to break down ignorance and move into wisdom. Say, okay, well, when I'm eating these foods, I can't eat a lot of them so that they can be metabolized and broke down. So when they pass through the ileocecal valve, it's not a tremendous strain on my right hip region, because your right hip will get fucked up. Your right glue whacked out. And this has to do with these subtle processes in the body. Now, release the right leg, a lot of information. Bring the left hand to the earth. Bring both knees to bend a little bit. And feel yourself move into a bent knee situation where you're about to drop off into rest. Deeply release here. So any part of the body that was engaged, extract the will. Now, your blanket might be close to you here. Your eye cover might be close. If it is, take it and start to cover. If not, you're going to have to maybe straighten the legs, roll onto the back, and sort of reach over to the left to get your stuff. But wherever you are, let your knees bend first while you're acquiring your tools for Shavasana. And once you have started to gather your stuff, start to bring awareness to your left leg. Extend the left leg and drop it to the earth. And feel the sound Somaye Namaha. Let the right leg extend. Bring it to the earth. Feel the sound Suryaye Namaha. Let the legs open. Drop out. Feel the back of the body. And feel this astounding opportunity to enter into the abode. Feel as if the spirit is moving to Mount Kailash, to Shiva's abode. That we can journey in Shavasana to the deepest realm of consciousness while we are released from this physical mortal coil.
Feel the sensation of your breath. Feel the sensation of the breath in your body. Feel the sounds at third eye. Shrim Samai Namah. Shrim Samai Namah. Shrim Samai Namah. And feel the body awaken with the most subtle movement. Begin to roll onto the right side. And be on the right side and experience the body receiving breath. Feel the left hand touch the earth. Sink down, rise up. And we'll chant this beautiful passage from the Rudra Stadhyaya, which we coursed through the being in our first state of Shavasana to carry the mind and body through the day. So feel, and you can chant it if you want, or you can just feel it in your being. Satnyam cha me shraddha cha me. Satnyam cha me shraddha cha me. Pratam cha me vishvam cha me. Pratam cha me vishvam cha me. Mahascha me krita cha me. Mahascha me krita cha me. Danam cha me. Danam cha me. Janisyanamam cha me. Janisyanamam cha me. Suktam cha me. Suktam cha me. Shuktam cha me. Shuktam cha me. Yagena kalpantam. Yagena kalpantam. And feel the breath. Truth is within me, and devotion is within me, and joy is within me, and wealth is within me. And all good deeds are within me, and all beings born are within me, and all creatures born are within me. And through surrender, I attain all that is within me. And feel the breath as Om.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for being embodied, for being here and being there, and pulsating your wisdom and beauty and surrender through all planes of consciousness. Om Shanti, Om Namah Shivaya.
Have a beautiful, lustrous, lovely, moony day. Om Shrim Somaye Namaha. Love you.